What an amazing place to be today. We're standing in the Adullem cave. It is here that David hid from Saul's army, and there were about 400 to 600 people in this cave, and Saul's army was all about it, but they could not find David by a miraculous thing that happened here at the entrance. Let me read to you from 1 Samuel chapter 22. David therefore departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullem. So when his brothers and his father's house heard of it, they went down there to him. And everyone who was in distress, everyone who was in debt, everyone who was discontented, gathered to him. So he became captain over them all, and there were about 400 men with him. Now we're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 23, and beginning at verse 13. Then 3 of the 30 chief men went down at harvest time and came to David at the cave of Adullem. And a troop of Philistines encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was there in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was with him in Bethlehem. And David said with longing, "Oh, that someone would give me a drink of water from the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." So the 3 mighty men broke through the camp of the Philistines, drew water from the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless he would not drink it, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, "Far be it from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is this not the blood of the men who went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things were done by the 3 mighty men. And then David talks about this place in Psalms chapter 57. "Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me. For my soul trusts in you, and in the shadow of your wings I will make my refuge. I will cry to God Most High, to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a deep pit before me. Into the midst of it they have themselves fallen. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and praise and give praise to God. Awake, my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches unto the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. Written by David, probably here in the cave of Adullem. And now here is Arie to tell you more about David's experience in hiding here in this cave.
So welcome to the dark Adullem cave. Wherever I put my hands, look what I have. Spiders' webs. Wherever we step, spiders. We have to look to be very careful that a snake will not run between our legs. Yeah, it is very dark, very dangerous, very frightening place. But remember, this all gives the opportunity to be also rescue place. We are in Adullem. How David arrived here? We left him last chapter, which I mean 1 Samuel 21, in Gath, the city of Gath, which is one of the 5 cities of the Philistines. He was there when people told the king Achish, "Get away of David, look what happens to him, he's a cuckoo, he's like a mad." And David said, "Really? I don't need mad people around me. Let him go from here." And the Bible said that from Gath, David arrived here. It's around 18 miles It will take a full day walking. Now imagine David leaving God, the fortified city, and slowly makes his way here to this place, Adullam. Adullam is mentioned. It's mentioned first, we hear about this in Genesis 38. If you have time at home, read this chapter. Just to remind you, 37, Genesis 37, the story of Joseph. And it ends when the brothers of Joseph actually put him in a pit or a cistern, and then Midianite came and they sold him to the Midianites. And Judah said, let us try to keep Joseph alive. The next chapter, 38, tells us what happened with this brother of Joseph, Judah. Judah was with all his flock here on the other side of this valley. And he took a wife, the daughter of Hira, that was from here, from Adullam. So you see, Judah connected himself to this place. And he took her, and he got 3 children. And the Bible tells the story what happened with these children. So Adullam is important village. If you ask me, it is a Philistine territory. Why? Because we are on the west side of the Elah Valley. The Elah Valley, it's just under us. And like we saw before, Gat on the other side of the valley, on the west side, Azekah on the west side of the valley, also here on the west side of the valley. So when David escaped to Adullam, still he was in a place not far from the Philistines area. And we heard that here it was when he was thirsty and he pleaded to have some fresh water. And we have heard what happened. From here to Bethlehem, going and coming back, we speak each direction is around 15 miles. So more than 30 miles in one day. That's what his mighty people did in order to give him just fresh water. But we saw that David said, no, I can't drink this. And he poured it down on the rock. Let us remember that pouring water on the soil considered to be the highest sacrifice in this country. More than oil, more than lamb, more than sheep, more than anything. Because when somebody is so thirsty, but still he has the power to say, this water, not for me, but I give it to God, and pour it on the floor. This is a great sacrifice. So that's what David gave here in this place. There's much to talk about. We are just in the enter of this cave. It goes inside deep and deep and deep. You can easily get 600 people inside. And you need 10 stones. It's enough to cover the entrance, and nobody will find this entrance. 10 stones in some bush, and it's closed. And actually, when the Bible says that David was in the cave of Adullam, we have to understand, most of the time he was up. But when Saul came to find him, he could easily enter inside, like in a shelter, and hide from Saul. And Saul had no chance to find him here. Let us remember that from here he went on to Keilah. And there he helped the people of Keilah, because the Philistines were actually rubbing their threshing floors. And from Keilah he asked God, does Saul will get after me? And the answer was yes. So he left this area and went to the desert of Maon and Carmel, which is a total different chapter in the life of David.